folks, well, you rejoined me back in the carrot field with it looking basically exactly like it did last time we were here. So the last time I was playing this, it was in the real world. No, not the old MTV reality TV show. Was that one of the first reality TV shows? It's certainly the first that I remember. Anyway, back when MTV existed, for one, didn't see that coming, MTV going away, and two, when MTV actually played music. Yeah. Who remembers Headbangers Ball? Yeah, that was a quality TV show, wasn't it? Real music. Anyway, that's a major instant segue, sidetrack, getting lost. It was Monday evening, in what turned out to be a very, very hectic, stressful week. And I think that Monday evening was the last time I recorded a video until yesterday, which was Friday evening. It is now Saturday. This has turned into one of the regular spots when I get to record content. Semi-regular. Mrs. D goes and does some family visiting of her side of the family. Currently, I'm not doing any running because I'm having some energy issues, and so I'm using this time slot to record videos quite often in the week. So last night I recorded a Timberborn video, which if you like those, you might have seen because it went live about an hour ago on YouTube, unless you were on Patreon. And then you might have seen it last night or earlier this morning, because the early access wasn't particularly early because I was uploading it just as I went to bed last night. Actually, no, not really, because I went to bed incredibly late. So, yeah. You'll understand this if you have a similar brain to me. I'm really worn out at the moment. Work is really busy and stressful at the moment, as I keep banging on about. I could really do with a lot more sleep than I'm getting. But the problem I have is that because work is really busy and stressful, it takes me a really long time to decompress after work. Which means I'm staying up way later than I should. Which means I'm not getting as much sleep as I need, which means I feel more tired, and repeat. It is what is referred to as an vicious cycle, and it kind of sucks. In theory, there's only a few more weeks of work being like this, maybe 2, 3, at most about 4. And things will be less stressful, in theory. So that's good. I'm one of those people that really struggles to process stress. Talking about it here kind of helps. One of the problems with my job is that I can't share what the stressful stuff is with most people, except the people that I work with, and we're all under the same stress. So it's kind of hard for us all to vent that stress. And yeah, so anyway, it's not like I can't come home and whinge about work, because I can't talk about the stuff that I do at work most of the time. So, you know, it's kind of weird. Anyway, so yeah, we're basically back where we were in the last video, and we're just going to progress with doing what we were doing last time, which is riding around in what is arguably the best root crop harvester ever to exist in an adult colouring game. Sorry, realistic farming simulation game. Now it sounds like we are pretty close to finding out what the next DLC is, only in the fact that those people that like rooting around on Steam have found that Giants have made an addition to the Steam database for that DLC. It's a Q1 DLC, and there's not much left in Q1. Typically, I think it comes out in at some point in March. You could probably go back and look at when they released the previous ones in March and have a pretty good idea of when we can expect it to come out. Because they pretty much follow the same pattern, give or take. I'm assuming they won't confirm a date until they are comfortable that they can hit it, because that's sensible, you would think. And they're doing their standard silly games of releasing hints about stuff, which is really, to me, you know, a lot of people that play this game are adults. Just tell us, you know, we've paid money for it. As a grown-up, I'd rather you just said, oh, the next DLC is going to be this, because the silly riddles don't hype me and excite me for it. Now, that could be, again, the way my brain is. Now, there's supposedly a part of my brain that would maybe get excited about that, but it's dominated by the bit of the brain that goes, just tell me what it is, because, yeah. I'd rather you just said, it's this DLC, and I'll decide. Well, I'm fortunate to be in a position that I don't have to decide whether I like it or not, because I'll get a copy anyway, but equally I've brought, like, I'm not sure how many copies of, actually it's season 2 now, isn't it? So no, I haven't brought copies of. I am fortunate enough to be in a position that I will get a copy of it. I probably do have to go and buy copies of it, because I have 3 computers that I play Farm Sim on, and sometimes I'm using more than one of them at once. I haven't done that in a while, but I do like that option. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, just tell us what the damn thing is at this point. You know what it is. You must know by now what the content of it is. We're mostly grown-ups that play this game. I'm not sure the childish hype sells more copies. I could be wrong. I'm not a marketing executive, clearly. Anyway. Unless you can tell. I would like, if I knew what it was, I could tell you if I'm going to be excited about it or not. That's the thing, isn't it? If I knew when it was coming out, I could tell you if I'm going to be available or not to do anything for it. It's one of those things, isn't it, with having a community of, you know, if you were at Llama, or you've seen some of the videos put out by some of the content creators who are at Llama, they might be biased by the type of event, but if you look at the demographic of that, it's all mostly adults. Now, that could be the type of event, but equally, if you looked at previous years where the focus was more on a daytime event and Giants were there, the vast majority of it was still adults. And I think Giants maybe should start to appreciate that they're dealing with an adult audience. Now, they maybe have more information on their demographic than I do. But yeah. And those of you that enjoy it, yes, you're getting a tired me whinging a bit about stuff. I know a bunch of you enjoy that. I was slightly panicked after the last one, because I had a typo in the title of the video, which Kartek messaged me about, but the way he messaged me had me panicking slightly about something that I may or may not have said in the video, because I couldn't remember what I was speaking about, because I was really tired after a long day at work, and yeah, I had a moment of panic, and it's like, what did I say in that video? Rather than having spelt a word wrong on the video title, because, you know, you guys know I do that a lot anyway. Words are hard. Words are hard. So, where are we? On a big ball of rock flying around in space. Yeah. So where you are. No, where are we? We're going to get this done, and then we'll see where we go. I have no idea if we'll get this finished this video. If we don't, I will finish it off camera, because I don't want to do 3 videos harvesting carrots. It is kind of the nature of the beast, unfortunately, with how things are at the moment, that yeah, things are busy. We may or may not get the grass planted in this field. Again, it's the nature of how things are at the moment. If we don't, we don't. It's part of how I'm playing this game. I've not added in moisture system yet, because we need to move all of the hay bales, and I really don't want to lose all of the hay bales just because we're not prepped for adding a mod. That just seems silly to me to do that, but we'll send those off. We'll jump in this truck and grab this guy so we can finish unloading. Yeah, that just seems like an unnecessary punishment. Moisture system continues to be being updated in its sort of, I guess, like alpha testing phase, maybe beta testing phase, I don't know. In its testing phase, I haven't looked at it in a week. So yeah, may pick it up again this weekend. Other folks are testing it. Obviously, it's not just me, it's a very big pool of people testing it for Oz. I've updated red tape. Red tape has been updated since I was playing last, and so on here, I don't think we're that highly rated. No, we're still tier D on kin lag, and I've got several of those videos stacked up now. And I'm sorry I haven't got those finished, but anyway, on kin lag we did some tree planting, as you will know, and that has jumped us up in our rating quite a lot. And one of the updates to red tape is to limit the scope of how quickly tree planting is going to let you do that. Because yeah, I thought I was being quite conservative with my tree planting on there, and I think I planted maybe 20 or 30 trees, and when they did the next evaluation we jumped up 2 tiers. But that's been, you've probably seen, there's been one of the updates to red tape was to cap that. I can't remember what the cap is, but the idea being that you can't use tree planting to massively boost your ranking in the system. My view on that is, now I didn't expect mine to go up that quickly, so it was kind of unintentional. So maybe it should be in there to some extent, but my view is also that if someone wants to play with the mod in that way, that's on them. But I guess it's complicated, isn't it? Because I don't feel like mod creators should have to code out everything like that. I guess Oz didn't want that as a feature of the mod. But equally, my view is kind of, some things are down to players. If they don't want that to be a feature of their gameplay, don't do it. But I guess equally, if you're doing forestry and you want to plant a lot of trees, but you don't want to have your ranking jump up crazily, then you're kind of stuck. So I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one to balance. And I guess if you're doing multiplayer, and I don't know if it matters, but because I don't do multiplayer, it's a tricky one to balance all these kind of things as to how do you balance a mod like that. And it's the same with moisture system. The balance is quite tricky as to how, I'm not sure if strict is the right word, but how you configure all these different things and like rates of things that happen. And for me, I'm trying to remember how seasons worked in FS19, which is realistically a game I haven't played in years. And so you've got a memory of what you remember it being, but is it really like that? And I think I said I did actually reinstall FS19, but I didn't actually sit and play it. I just kind of looked around that map that I have fond memories of, but I didn't actually sit and play. But I do have these fond memories of the way things were. I say fond memories, you know, it really hurt if you put bales in a shed with FS19 seasons and it turned out that shed wasn't set up for seasons and it rained on your bales. Now, if you were a technically competent player, you had, was it F11 back then, wasn't it? Not F12. But it could still hurt. So, yeah. I'm going to send it that way and see how it does getting back to us. Because we've got a little bit of capacity in the other truck. So, and we're making progress, and and I'm rambling bollocks, which is why a bunch of you are here. I know you're here to listen to me rant and ramble bollocks, and that's fine. Now, if we get this done in time, I think we can quite quickly chuck some direct drilled grass in here. Yes, we're going to end up with almost every field that we own planted with grass. In theory, we should have this one having grass going in it as well. I know. I need to add in the crop rotation mod onto here and set up our crop rotations. We might just miss stuff on this. It's just the nature of the beast. I should have been doing things more efficiently. I should have had Courseplay doing some of the grass work, I think, so that we were running faster. Here reverse. What I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a little bit of this end off because we've only got 1400 litres of capacity left. So we'll just trim a little bit of this not headland off. Give us a bit more room to turn, and because I don't think there's a lot of point actually going into the row. So let's go unload this, because I think this might fill the truck up. I should have put the truck in a better place. Okay, the tractor is close to being back. The truck is close to being full, so I'm going to send the truck. The truck is in fact full. Here comes the tractor. So because they didn't manage passing very well, we will manually handle that. I need to get them out and on the road anyway, so let's do that. It's set to tip, which is good. It might be worth us actually jumping in the tractor and manually bringing that into the field. I need to do a little bit of work on this auto drive network, I think. Yeah, let's manually bring that in. We ideally need like 3 trailer units, tractor trailer units, so that we can have one at each end and one dumping, and have them be big enough that we've got enough capacity to do that. I think we can now send that. Hopefully that will be able to do its job. There it goes. Yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. I had to go get a parcel in from the postman. Postperson. And while I was doing that, I've lost my train of thought about what I was talking about. But yeah. Yeah, this running the farm faster is really cool from a point of view that I'm having to make compromise decisions, and we're going to progress through the year at a certain rate, and I kind of like that. It's good. Crop rotation. So I'm using that on Kinlag. I said I've got a bunch of those videos stacked up. I might get them sorted this weekend. I don't know. It depends how I do with rest and stuff. It depends what Mrs. D is like with her energy levels as well, and if she's feeling good, we might do some stuff, because honestly we've not spent a lot of time together because my work, I keep mentioning my job is dominating my life at the moment, unfortunately. So yeah, we've not seen much of each other this last couple of weeks because I've been away a lot. So yeah, but because of her health problems, she's having to do a lot of dog care mostly, and that's draining her. So she might need to recover as well. So we'll see what's going on. Mods. Talking about mods, so I generally these days don't bother looking at the farm sim mod page until either there is something I want, I see something shared that perks my interest, or I see literally see something that perks my interest. And I was scrolling YouTube, and I don't often get recommended videos actually, so I'm subscribed to Mr. CDP, but I tend not to watch his videos these days. I find his, whatever that style of video that he tends to make now, doesn't appeal to me as much. But I saw one of his mod review videos popped up, and it had the loader on it, and I guess that's inspired by Aliens. Now, I'm a massive Alien Universe fan, and Predator fan. But anyway, so when I saw that, I did have to go check that out. I've not installed it yet, predominantly because I can't see anywhere that I'd actually use it. But it looks so cool. It looks so cool. I think, assuming it actually works properly, it'd be really fun to have on a map that you were doing a lot of forestry on. Either that, or it'd be really frustrating. It's going to be one of the two, isn't it? It's going to be either really fun or really frustrating. I don't know which it would be. If you've tried it, you might know, because you might say, oh, it's really frustrating to use and it really doesn't work very well. One or t'other. Where is the truck at? It looks like it should be almost there, but it looks like it might be stuck. So we'll get to full. It's kind of annoying that we can't quite do a full row. I think because we're in a good yield spot. This guy has a real affinity for lampposts. So let's go help him tip. Yeah. And Auto Driver is really helping me get stuff done, but equally is really hindering me getting stuff done. Break! Tip. And while we're tipping, we'll reset this to field 16. And I'm going to have to get him out of here because he has the turning circle of a barge. I think when we've got more cash, we've got decent cash. Once because we need this cash to build the BGA complex next month. When we've got more spare cash, it's a better caveat. what I'd like to do is get another tractor. It's a tractor I've actually got my eye on. So that we can, like if we're doing a job like this, we can have 2 tractors and trailers, because that truck is quite frustrating to actually make use of. In a lot of situations, it was really cheap. But I think in a lot of situations, and it's quick, but in a lot of situations, a tractor and a trailer is better. So, and obviously a tractor can do more things than the truck can. So yeah, I think it's a mod that I'm interested in, but I would like something like this. I'd like a John Deere. I haven't had a John Deere in quite a long time, I don't think. So yeah, I'd like a 6R, something like that. I think it would be a good fit for the farm. Nice amount of horsepower. Put that there. We can then hopefully clean up these 2 end rows. Maybe empty the machine again before we run into the next bit. So we can maybe finish a row. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah. Let's do that. So I'm sure previous versions of this machine had more capacity. What have we got, like 6 or 7 rows left? So we should get, I'll get this finished in this video. We'll get this job done. And then in future videos, so we might have time left in the day to get some grass planted here. We could really do with, at the very least, shifting the sugar beet. We're not going to sell it, I don't think, because that's going to go through the BGA, but we could do with at least shifting some of the sugar beet off of that other field and deciding what we're going to do with it. If we are going to put grass cover crop in, that means we're going to have grass cover crop in every field, but that's fine. It gives us a good base for planting next year in the spring. Yeah, it's a bit boring, but hey, you know, it's about optimizing the farm, not necessarily being, well, yeah, it's about optimizing the farm. And grass is a better cover crop than OSR, because OSR doesn't really do anything, although it does with the crop rotation mod. The crop rotation mod actually lets it be useful, so that's kind of cool. What I'm going to do is grab the tractor. It's quicker to drive the tractor to the other end of the field than it is to drive the harvester. There's the truck. Awesome. The truck's probably going to get stuck, but we'll sort that out afterwards. This is going to take this to 21,000, which is almost full, so I think it might make sense to send this then. That's weird that that actually emptied afterwards, because normally it doesn't. But yeah, I think it might make sense to send this, because it's close to full, and yeah. And at that point, the harvester is empty. Let's grab this. The harvester is probably going to be full or practically full at this end. So let's put the truck down here. Ready. Let's send the almost full tractor. It's only taken me most of the field to work out how to harvest it. You were thinking it, I know. Let's go. That's going to take a little while. What's in the sales, folks? A potato header, a JCB loader, a Volvo loader, an old Fiat tractor, and a Class forage harvester. glass forage harvester is tempting. But we don't really need it, so yeah. But I would like a bigger modern tractor at some point, and I suspect that once we've got the BGA running, we will be able to afford something like that. So, right, file you up, drop the header, and off we go. Lift in the carrots. So if we check the finances tab for November and harvest income, we're at £6,000. That's not bad, is it, off this field? That's not bad. It's better than a kick in the spuds or the carrots. It's better than a kick in the carrot. How many of you winced at the idea of a kick in the spuds or a kick in the carrot? So should we get a different picture of our favourite root crop harvester doing its job for the thumbnail, just so it looks subtly different? Actually, I was vaguely... So normally I don't like these mods. The combine, there's a new combine, realistic combine harvesting mod that I saw shared. It's on GitHub currently. And I will admit I was vaguely tempted. The only reason I don't normally like them is basically all they do is slow your combine down, and it's like, do I really just want to combine harvest slower? Because that's what it feels like they do. They just make your combine run slow. Yes, there's realism in that. One of the things I liked about this one is if you, and maybe some of the other ones did it as well, I don't know, I didn't really like them. If you overloaded the combine, it impacted your yield. Yeah, it seemed interesting, but we'll see, because I don't know. Right, let's go. Yeah, 5 rows to go, which at about a full load per row is about 35,000 litres of carrots, which is about a load of each, roughly. I can't see all the tractors going around. They take a really weird route. I'm sure there's a better route for them to take, but anyway, as long as they get there. Yeah, he's going all the way around there. Whatever, sir, whatever. As long as you get there, I do not care. And I think that one's not set to tip when it gets there. It's just set to get there. But again, that's fine. As long as it does get there, we'll be all good. So we're going to have a reasonable amount of hours left in the day. So in theory, we could get grass in this field, because this is quite a small field, so it should be quite quick to plant. Let's do half of the turn, because then we can get the truck in. Yeah, it should be quite quick to plant this one with grass, and then we will have done the oats, carrots, grass cycle that we were doing. I'm not going to do it any more on here because we're doing it on Kinlag. I know you haven't seen it all yet, but anyway. But I think probably we'll go for something a bit less intensive. Awesome. Let's tip you. Let's reset this back to field 16. Good stuff. Let's go. Another £6,000 in the bank. It's been quite profitable harvesting these carrots. It's just been quite time consuming. Just in terms of real time, and normally I would have condensed this into a single video. But have I mentioned that I'm a little bit busy at the moment? I know. You're probably a bit tired of hearing that. Anywho, yeah, so we'll run these. I'm pretty confident we can get grass in here. What I'll do is we'll finish this up. Betwixt videos, someone remind me to install crop rotation. We'll put grass in here. I think my plan is to put corn in this field. I mean, that's 2.6 with 106. That's, yeah. We'll put corn in field 15 next year, because that'll give us a bigger maize silage yield, corn silage yield, which I think we need. We'll put something different in the field in front of us. I'm going to need to come up with a crop rotation that's different to the one I'm running on Kinlag. So you can just do grass corn with crop rotation mod. It does still work on that. But I think I'm going to come up with a 3 crop rotation, and we'll cycle fields 18 and 15 through that. So by 3 crops I mean corn, grass, something else. So each winter both of them will have grass in, which will be really good for generating some grass for the cows or the BGA. And then each spring, summer, they'll get a different either feed. I mean, it could both be feed crops, couldn't they? Because we could do a root crop one year and a silage crop the other year, or one of them could be a straw crop so that it's a bedding crop, and the other could be silage. And then that would free up field 16, which we're working on now, to do something else, or could be part of the rotation to make up for the fact that field 18 is smaller. Or we could buy another small field like 11 or 12 and have 16 and 12 in another rotation. You know, we've got all sorts of options. What we need now is this guy back so we can finish emptying the harvester. And this, I think, should pull all of the... or should take all of the carrots that we're going to pull out of the field, or lift out of the field. Crash. No, that wasn't me talking to you, Kartek. That was me crashing. Yeah. It all depends on how profitable the BJ ends up being, I guess, because we're not going to be able to run it constantly, I don't think, like I can on Kinlag. Because of the... I mean, and what I probably need to think about is what do I need to run the BGA, which is probably some root crops to go with the... I'm not sure. I need to have a look at that because I haven't used it in so long. But yeah, I think we're going to end up filling that trailer, and that should be it. And it's probably, yeah, because it's 3 passes, which is 3 full loads of the harvester, which is going to be about 21,000 litres. So, yeah, awesome. And we should have plenty of time for planting some grass cover crops. And if I go with that plan of that 15 and 18 are in a rotation together, and 15 is going to have maize next year, we do want to put grass in that, which means I need to move the sugar beet. So what we'll do is we'll hang on to the trailer that we've got. I'll get some belts to pick that up. I'm probably going to use the one that's a single one that just picks up off the floor. Just because it's easier. I might tweak the BGA so that it takes beats as well. Feels like they're pretty sure that BGAs ferment beats, so and put those through the BGA as well. Oh, so much to think about. So much to think about. But yeah, we'll hang on to this trailer for moving the sugar beets. Oh, let's fix Buddy up. I wonder if he'll be able to get there on his own if I do that. I'm guessing not, but we'll, if he doesn't, we'll sort it out once we've finished harvesting, I think, at this point. Put you back on, lower the header, switch on GPS, close the auger up, and off we go. It's got slightly closer and crashed again by the looks of it. So, I mean, that's the other thing. If we had a tractor and trailer, I think auto drive would work better with it than that truck. So, yeah. It's kind of partly why I think I was looking on ModHub and I saw the modded 6R and it reminded me that I haven't had a John Deere in a while, and I quite liked having one. Back in FS19 I had a 7R and I really liked it. It was like the workhorse tractor on the farm for so long. Well, it did get there, but I think a 6R would fit better on here. So I really liked the 5M as well, the one that in 19 I think Giants released it as a mod, or like an add-on to the game or whatever they consider it as, and then I think it was base game in 22, because I remember having it on my starter farm in 22, but I really like that as well. But yeah, I quite fancy a 6R. But I don't remember. I certainly don't remember the last time I had one. I don't remember if I've ever had one. But it feels like a nice size tractor for this farm. A bit more grunt than the Steyr. And not a Deutz, which, you know, is acceptable. Oh, that's dumping anyway. This we can now send to my farm, and that should park it near the entrance to the farm. And don't get me wrong, auto drive has helped a lot. It has helped an awful lot. That's on me. I'll own that one. I kind of wonder if maybe the collision box is slightly off on that as well. I'm going to need to move that tractor. But we are basically done with the carrot harvest. And it's still only 3 PM in game, so we have got time to do the grass planting, especially if I can get a decent size, not H, B, yep, H will do actually, decent size plant or seeder. We'll get a direct drill. We won't worry about any of the ploughing stuff. We'll just get a direct drill, bang it in. And what I'll do is I'll have Courseplay plant this one while I move the sugar beets. And that way, hopefully, we can get both of them done. Even if I have to do the other one in the dark, it'll be worth it. Yeah. So we'll get these carrots sold and see how much we made off of them. Currently, we're looking at 46 grand, which is pretty nice actually for a small field, you know. They do pay well. They do pay well. And with the yield tracker mod, I should be able to get it to tell me how much of both we got. So we can return the harvester now. That's done its job, and a sterling job that it did. Outstanding little bit of kit. Yes, it took me 2 videos. That's more because of my real world availability. While that's unloading, let's have a quick look at the yield tracker for field 16. So oats, we got 15,000 litres, and then it doesn't appear to track the yield of carrots. Interesting. Okay, that seems like a bit of a flaw. Anyway, let's go into here, go to here, go to here. Frustrate, return, return. Good job. Jump in the tractor and let's run up to the animal dealer. Let's go. Yeah, so we'll get this done. Get these tipped. We are over 100 grand now, so we're in a pretty good place for getting the BGA in, which is excellent. The other thing is, when I was talking about the slurry store, I might have mentioned it in the last video. What I didn't think about was getting a grant for that. The other thing is we could maybe think about getting a grant for another shed. It's a 6-month application process. It does take a little while, but we could maybe think about getting a shed. But it would have to move the grain dryer, but getting a shed put in there. So we've got a bit more shed space. Now, applying for a grant isn't a guarantee that you'll get a grant. But we could try. Just like in real life, they are not guaranteed. But, and I'm not sure how it works then if you get the grant, whether the building is then free. I have done my first grant application on Kinlag, which you haven't seen yet, obviously. I know I keep mentioning it, the stuff that I'm doing in those videos, or what will be videos, just to kind of keep you guys informed, because I am quite a way ahead on that, because I'm just enjoying playing on there. Originally I kind of started doing that as just something that I was doing for me, but I then thought I would record it and try and make videos out of it, but it's turning out I'm enjoying playing it way too much, and I've got loads of footage stocked up. So, but I also know that coming up in a while I'm going to have a bit more free time to process through some of those, so that's maybe not a bad thing. Right, let's sell the last of the Caloton. And see how much we made from them. So, no, we want to go to finances, harvest income, £52,000. That's pretty nice. So, yep. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members, and I will see you all next time for a mixture of moving sugar beets, planting grass, and banging in the BGA, hopefully, finally. Yeah. And feeding cows, probably. See you all next time.